It's Friday. I'm recording this from CP headquarters. We're here doing our weekly rally at the federal building. We do a staging ground thing here, and people come in and make signs and stuff, and got the staff in the background getting ready for the last weekend before Election Day, primary election day here in Seattle, voting on um, county stuff or voting on democracy vouchers, which is this really cool program that allows citizens to give money to candidates so they can run for office. And we're voting on mayor, which is a big deal for us because we backed somebody in the mayoral today after we were inspired by what happened in New York, in your hometown.
Yeah. I definitely want to hear once we get through all the news stuff, especially how you think this new mayor endorsement fits into where you think the Democratic Party should move, and what inspired you to pick her. I've been seeing some of your content out there. You got some
Yeah,
man on the street, shooting on a subway with you. You're out here doing
yeah,
that
we're
content. It's
chilling.
looking good. It's looking good.
Yeah, that's one of the things that we were hoping to bring. You, if you're gonna get people on social, you gotta have stuff that grabs them, and sometimes it's like headline stuff, which we'll get to some that everyone's thinking about and talking about, and they want to get different takes. And sometimes it's, if it's an elected official, you got to bring out their personality and their policy mixed together. You got to make them look like they're trustworthy to be voted for as a leader, but then also normal enough that they're relatable. And so I was trying to help her to thread that needle. Nobody is like Mom Donnie. No,
Yeah.
Mom Donnie is like the LeBron James of running for office. Okay, and still there's more that we can do to get personalities out and get the word out about candidates here in Seattle. So yeah, check that out if you haven't seen it yet. If you're watching this video and you only tune in for the Charles and Ahmed updates, take a peek at our Instagram account and look for the interview on our YouTube page too.
Yeah, it's good stuff. And honestly, there is only one Mamdani, but there's also personality. I think like there's different fits for different areas and different, sometimes more introverted people or more technical minded people might be a better fit for a different, like I'm not from Seattle, but from what I've been in Seattle, I don't know. She seems like she could be a good candidate
Yeah,
market fit.
yeah, she is very Seattle. It's kind of like the prototypical like NPR. It's the SNL NPR skit, like
Yes.
more soft spoken, right? A little more humble, highly intelligent and deep, but not forceful. Like that's very like Seattle.
I
Yeah.
think we need more of that, to be honest. We'll talk about that. I think we'll first,
Yeah.
yeah, first we'll
In
probably,
politics in
yeah,
general.
in politics. Like we're gonna talk about the news, talk about Epstein, the economy, but at the end, definitely want to talk about just the future Democratic Party and who we kind of need in office. Because there's this whole thing about fighters and just like pontificators and bullshit artists. Frankly, in my opinion, a lot of them, and it's just like just we just need realness. Like
Yeah,
if you're
that's right.
like your Seattle candidate, from what I've seen, she seems like a real person. She works a full time job. She's doing this for public service. She's seems like a human being. Like a lot of these other people are just performers, and I don't like any. We've talked about this before. Zero performers from now on.
Yeah, the thing that I'm talking about now, because we have talked about fighters in the context of Donald Trump, which is something that we need. The thing that I think as time is going on here in this first term, and it's only been 6 months, um, we're kind of we're dialing in more distinctly what we need in a leader, and it's actually like the fighter piece is one element of it. The other piece, though, is that we need more representative leaders. We need,
Yes.
because before it was like, if you're going to run for office on the Democratic side, you have to go to law school. You got to go to law school so you can learn how to speak, how to form an argument, how to write, and then how to like make laws, right? And come to find out that like law school foundation is a part of why government is so bureaucratic, is that laws are written in these ways, and arguments are made in these ways that like favor long deliberation and really like thick impenetrable writing, et cetera. And what we're finding is that these candidates that are coming up, like the one through line and the ones that really are breaking through, one, it's their ability to communicate, right? But it's also the fact that they come from these places where regular people live, where working class people can relate to them. And that's a part of why they're able to communicate so well,
Yes.
is because they speak like regular people. It's because they live the lives of the people that they're advocating for. Like you're saying, Katie Wilson is, she's a renter. She rents a single bedroom apartment, her and her husband and her daughter. She rides transit into work. She rides trains and buses to go to work. Like these are the Seattleites um, that the laws that we're voting for right now are going to impact in the future.
Yeah.
And this is the
No.
same across the country.
No, that's spot on. And Katie, it sounds like she is a real person who actually has experienced the city from a normal person's lens, which is vital. And also, just broadly, I think you're spot on. Just that kind of representative of where they're literally representing. Like, I think
Yeah.
we created kind of carbon copies. A lot of Obama imitators. Just let me tell you about and I'm guilty of this sometimes myself when I go on these panels, But like a lot of, but like some of these people are just straight up Obama imitators, most of them.
Yeah.
And it's like you don't need to create a fake cadence; just be yourself. And I think it's about that. Just like that's why AOC is successful. That's why if Katie Wilson wins, she'll be successful because if you're and Mamdani represents, although he represents like wasn't born here. He's like a transplant. Like that's a lot of New Yorkers at a young age. He's kind of a little bit of a nepo baby when it comes to like film. Like his mom's famous. His mom made a movie with Denzel Washington. Like he's and that's New York, right? A lot of nepo babies here, right? Like he's representative of the city, right? Point is, but he's also a passionate fighter for the lower class, middle class, and that's like you need that the market fit, district candidate fit. Not everything has to be so nationalized about Donald Trump, and actual ideas and actually doing it for the right reasons.
Yeah.
So
A part of this whole appeal to regular people is also talking about the things that regular people talk about. And this is one of the things the Democratic Party is like have pushed away from. Like we're better than some of these topics, and so we're not going to talk about them. I think now we're realizing if the masses deem this to be important, then we need to have a conversation about this. We need to address it, and then politically, we need to use that as a tool, as a wedge issue to kind of break up the coalition on the right. And the Epstein stuff is exactly this. It is the one thing that has broken through across the board, across demographics, whether you're paying attention to politics or not, whether you've chosen a party or not. The Epstein stuff is something that has risen above all those things, and it sustains. It sustains because of what it's about, because it's about abusing children, because that is something that is universally wrong. It sustains because this is what Trump campaigned on, and then it sustains because he continues to push back against it. In fact, it's hilarious because if he would have done the like regular political thing of agreeing with whatever the crowd is saying and then kind of like letting it die, it would have probably died down. It's his fight against it that is the craziest piece, and that's what's coming out today. More about that.
Exactly. And also great segue from that was well done. Just to give you props.
Like that? You like
it was
that?
Good, yeah, good segue. But yeah, no, it's spot on. And also just on that, like there's multiple parts to this. We could talk about the details of that he's revealing while he's speaking. He's continuing the scandal. He makes the most compelling case for this thing to be released every time he opens his mouth. So there's that. But also just on that, like kind of closing out the Democratic messaging part of this and connecting it to Epstein is some Democrats saying we shouldn't speak about this. But the thing is, this story fits into the broader anti-corruption message Democrats have, because Trump made the fundamental promise. Like every time I talk about this, I take it back beyond just like some of the QAnon pedophile conspiracies and just his promises to his base, because he did conspiracize this and claim it would take down Democrats. But since 2015, his biggest appeal was, I am from the system, I am an elite, but I'm betraying the elites to expose them to you, to root out this corruption that I've seen firsthand, and I'm
gonna drain the swamp.
Yes,
I'm gonna drain the swamp.
I'm going to drain the swamp of these corrupt elites who may or may not be pedophiles. He started playing into that stuff with QAnon. But effectively, he's betrayed his promise. And now he's revealing that he is one of these corrupt elites. So you make that message, and then you say he's one of these corrupt elites who's betraying his constituents here, also here with Medicaid, also here with the tax policy, also here with... So it's like you can make it all one argument if Democrats are smart enough to piece it together and articulate it. That's why this shouldn't be stopped talking about, not only just for the victims and for the cover-up corruption scandal here that is clearly playing out, but also the fact that it's emblematic of Trump's broader betrayal of his promise and revelation, which you and I knew, that he was a con man elite that never gave a damn about his base.
Yeah. And now they're starting to realize it. The Epstein thing, whatever it takes, it's fine if it's Epstein. But this is the thing that's telling them, oh my God, he's lying.
Yes.
Oh wait, he's covering this up. Oh wait, he's not on our side. And then what they're doing, this is like the reveal at the end of a movie, where it's like he's actually the bad guy, and then you look back in the 2 hours of the movie.
Yes.
Like, oh, he was lying here, and he was lying there, and he was lying there, and it's like, oh my God, he's the villain. He's actually the villain. And that's what's going on with it. It's not the entire MAGA audience, but it's enough of them to impact future elections, and a lot of young men. A lot of young men, especially those who are newer to the coalition that listen to the Bro podcast, Theo Vaughn, those podcasts. And also, you're right, like it's the Wizard of Oz, It's this guy's he was just bullshitting us the whole time. Was everything else a lie? And then the thing about this cover up is he's exhibiting all the exact same behaviors of every other cover. This man has 10,000 cover ups at this point. All these, he's addicted to obstructing justice, right? So it's like he has the same habits. He has the exact same habits: distraction, unhinged behavior. Look at this, look at that. Let me cover this up. Let me get my DOJ to handle it. Like, I think what we could see, this is just a prediction, is just how Barr released a memo summarizing the Mueller report. If they ever actually release the files, I think we'd see something similar, where they would release it and try to characterize it, to try to give fodder. But I think it's too late. I think if he had done that initially, maybe at the beginning, if he had just released it with redactions and just sent it out, characterized it with Pam Bundy, said there's nothing there. Some of his base maybe would have been placated, but they've dragged it on. There's enough red flags raised, and then he keeps talking about it, and we can get into some of these details with the stuff he's saying about the stolen girls in a second. But but can you believe that he said that on the plane? Epstein stole her from me, like she was his. Crazy.
It's objectifying. It's disgusting. It's like the family was outraged to the point where they are out this week talking to the press. Virginia Giuffre's family. And another part of this, like multiple parts. One, he fucked up his whole timeline. Or like the original timeline of his falling out with Jeffrey Epstein was 2004. It was 2004. They're bidding over this real estate property in Palm Beach. They had some falling out, okay? Trump's now recharacterizing it, unprompted. He started this Monday saying, oh, Epstein was poaching people. First he said people. So first we thought, oh, maybe the staffers. Then he gets pressed by the press pool. They actually did good work for once. Because this specific press pool is usually filled with sycophants. But on this plane, they were like, did any of these include young women? And he was like, yes. And then one of them was like, did they include Virginia Giuffre? And he was like, yes. And this is his first time. We knew this because of her testimony, that Virginia Giuffre was recruited. But the thing about that is, it was in 2000, the year 2000. Virginia Giuffre was 16, 17 that summer working at Mar-a-Lago. Ghislaine Maxwell recruited her, according to her own testimony, Virginia's testimony, and then went on to be abused by Maxwell, Prince Andrew, and Epstein himself. So the point is, Trump's saying, oh, that is why I fell out. And he also said others, multiple, plural. So what other young girls? So it's so many things. It's not, you messed up your timeline, so we think you're lying. And also, so you're claiming now in real time you were aware of Epstein taking
Right.
Virginia Giuffre, and you're also saying other young girls were taken? So now you're revealing that Mar-a-Lago was potentially providing young girls to the sex trafficking.
This is evidence. He's creating new evidence, right? Because this is all like public. He's saying this in front of the press. These are recordings that people have, and this is where it's interesting because it's where his success is biting him. Like he thinks that he's impenetrable now. He thinks that he's bulletproof completely and he can say whatever he wants. He also believes he can talk himself out of whatever. And then because he's got people around him that he's handpicked, there's nobody with a level head and an outside perspective saying, you can't, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. No one's telling him no.
Exactly.
And that's where you see him go off a cliff. This is like Kanye West territory, right? Where it's like nobody's holding you back. His mom is not there, right?
Exactly.
You tell him to stop anymore, and so you're off a cliff. You're off a cliff, and you're at no point of no return. There's point of no comeback from this. This is also, when you're a politician and you're older, there's no new tricks for this old dog. He's not going to learn how to be more savvy now, how to pull back, how to listen to certain experts or something, how to kind of pivot the way he operates in the media or with stories or narratives or whatever. He goes old book. It's all old book stuff.
Yep.
It's old tricks. And so he can't work his way out of this because he doesn't know how to do it. And, the Republicans should have picked somebody younger. You know who'd have been better with this?
Who?
J.D. Vance.
Yeah, probably would have.
J.D. Vance would have squirmed.
Well, the thing is, J.D. Vance, is also like self-aware. He's smarter than Trump. And the thing is, Trump,
he is, yeah.
But also dumber at the same time. Trump has other brilliance parts of him where he instinctually understands people and how to manipulate them. But this here, he's also just like repeats the things of the last thing he heard. So like another thing I'm going to touch on the poaching of the young girls thing. He brought that up unprompted Monday and then into Tuesday, right? Unprompted. That, to me, potentially, and of course, we don't know for sure if he was aware of Epstein's sex trafficking stuff while Epstein was recruiting these girls or anything. But what we do know is that
I know you're saying that as
a hedge because I don't want to be sued for defamation.
I appreciate that. You have to use the word allegedly and all that stuff.
And we have to protect.
That as a regular citizen, we know. We know. Okay, we know. All right.
I do not associate myself with the comments of Mr. Charles Douglas. But yes, okay. Point is that maybe that's what's in the files. Maybe in the files he was told that it's remarked that there was multiple young girls sourced from Mar-a-Lago that went into this thing, and maybe that's fresh in his mind, and he's trying to get ahead of that somehow. Because he straight up told us that Epstein recruited multiple people, including young women, was what the reporter asked. But it's girls, young girls. Virginia Giuffre,
children.
Virginia Giuffre was an underage girl's child.
On that.
Children.
Say underage women.
Yeah, no,
Those
it's
children.
Young girls.
Those are girls. Those are kids.
Exactly. So the point is that he's claiming that he knew this was happening in real time, and then another part where this timeline messes up is that in 2002. So if he claiming he hated Epstein after this recruitment that he was apparently aware of in real time, then why 2 years later in 2002 you're praising him in New York Magazine, saying that Epstein's a terrific guy?
Okay.
He said Epstein's a terrific guy. He said Epstein's a terrific guy in 2002, and then in that same comment says Epstein loves beautiful women almost as much as I do. I know he likes them on the younger side.
That's the 2002.
That's the 2002 New York Magazine. 2 years after he recruits Virginia Giuffre, which now Trump is claiming for the first time he was aware of. And then 2003, the Wall Street Journal. That's the birthday card. The Wonderful Secrets birthday card that Trump sends Epstein was apparently sent in 2003, where Trump sent that yes, exactly. So and then they don't have a falling out till 2004. So, but he's claiming that the falling out happened with the recruitment that happened in 2000. So he's blurred the whole timeline. Wow. He's lying somewhere, either initially or here, and it's like it looks bad. And then we get this
Yeah.
story about the FBI redacting his name, and then they're refusing to release the files. To his base, this is like a conspiracy theorist's dream. They're seeing at the end of the rainbow, at the end of the tunnel, it's your boy Donald. That's the one that has the closest ties to this man. And out of everyone in Washington, he is the one that was bros with this guy for 15 years. And it's like hard to dispute this.
That's crazy. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know about the timeline like that. That's damning.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna see what happens with this. I totally agree. The timeline piece is key here. He's digging himself a deeper hole. He does not know how to get out of this, and there's light at the end of the tunnel for us as it relates to people kind of leaving MAGA and coming back into the light. Another thing that's going to shake him up is the economy, and we can end with this just briefly. But there's a big report out today around employment, right?
Yeah. So I can pull the numbers up over here. I mean, basically, well, first off, while I'm getting this up on my Twitter so I can read it off to you.
Yeah.
If you want to look into the timeline, if you're watching this, I wrote an article on my Substack, breaks all this down. It's pinned. You can see all the details of of how Trump's comments misalign with the previously established timeline. And while you're there, subscribe if you want to. You can get all the AhmedBaba.news. You can Google it. It's right there at Substack. All right. So the jobs numbers are crazy. So essentially, what we find out, this 3-month period, May, June, and July, is the worst and weakest 3-month period of job growth since COVID.
Really?
And if you remove COVID, it's the worst since 2010 in the Great Recession era. And the reason why is because we find this is insane. Okay, May and June got revised down by over 100,000 jobs each month. So it's like a mirage. Those numbers were a mirage. So basically, what we're seeing, May's job numbers were revised down by 125,000 jobs. So at first, it said 144K jobs was what was gained in May. It was actually only 19,000. In June, they said initially it was 130,000 jobs. It was actually it was revised down by 133,000 from 147,000 to 14,000 jobs.
Wow.
In June, and then
crazy.
and then this month is 73,000 jobs, which might be revised down in the future. So essentially, we had incredibly slow growth, inflation persists, labor market weakening, and the economy is slowing, man.
Oh, and the market fell. Okay.
And on that point, I got to mention something with Kevin O'Leary and see on the markets. I could talk about that in a second.
So hold on. So so a couple things on this because it's so interesting. I'm starting to see the news reports about the economy. It's like they self-police. Like they're very careful to not use big language when it comes to these reports because I've seen a couple of headlines where they've been like, all right, it's like, tepid or whatever, or like it's not strong enough, or they're not like worst jobs reports since COVID. No one's like I was looking at some of my updates on my phone here as the jobs report is coming in, and I was actually looking back at some of the other ones, and the major media is afraid to call this what it is until they're forced to, it seems like.
So they're starting. So initially, those first pushes were going out, and then the conversation on Twitter kind of erupted. Axios reported also that it was the worst 3 months, and then now CNN. Like once Trump people started coming out and defending it, you even see on Fox Business, like the tide started to turn in recent hours, where they're grappling with how bad this report is, and the market tanking is one of the reasons why also as well. And it's just
because you can't refute that.
Like you can't refute that, and
you have to explain it.
And speaking on the market tanking, I have to do a self-indulgent thing here. Okay, last Monday, as you know, I was on CNN with Kevin O'Leary, right? Yes. And the Abby Phillips panel.
You want to send a message to Kevin?
No, yeah. Well, I mean, I already tweeted about it. I already tweeted about it. Kevin O'Leary of Shark Tank.
Yep.
who I grew up watching as a child.
I know. And
it was
exactly the same.
yeah. He looks exactly the same, which is also crazy. There was a couple weird things on the panel. He was just trying to say no one cares about the Epstein files. That was a viral moment that went off. But then there was another viral moment that MAGA tried to claim I got owned on the economy, right? So it was like, this got 1 million views. And I was just patiently waiting because I was like, watch, because this is what happened. I'm talking about how Trump eroded the economy, injected uncertainty in the markets, all of that stuff. Kevin interrupts me, starts screaming at me, like literally yelling at me, like, the market's at an all-time high. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? And I was like, it's high because they don't think he's going to actually implement the tariffs. Like, it's a taco trade. The Trump always chickens out trade. I was like, and then he kept yelling at me, and I was like, dude. And then he kept yelling at the end. I was like, okay, then let's see. I straight up, I'm so glad I said this. I said, okay, well then let's see on August 1st. That's what I said. I said, let's see on August 1st when he announces those tariffs, and when we have more job data and more economic data. I knew that we were going to have this data. I said, let's see on August 1st what happens. August 1st is today. What happens? The market tanks. The economy has, like, straight up.
Tell me you tweeted this, man.
I tweeted this. I tweeted it, and I quote tweeted the video that had went viral when they were claiming I was owned, and I was sitting patiently just like, okay. At the end of the video, I said, let's wait till August 1st. August 1st came. I get to come with the receipts. His take aged horribly. Yeah. And now we're here. And who was the one that got owned, Kevin? You know?
I love it, man. I love that. I love
that's
that you took down Kevin O'Leary, who has had a precipitous decline because of his attachment and his support of Trump.
Yeah.
But now this is like he's losing all kinds of credibility now. He's supposed to be the business guy. He's supposed to be the money guy.
And he was claiming
he's supposed to be that guy, right? And who are you? Ahmed, look, Ahmed is you're a great dude, okay?
But I'm not a billionaire. I'm not a millionaire.
TV, and also you're a great journalist. You're not an economist, okay? You shouldn't be outsmarting this guy, and yet you're clowning him on national TV, and he's clowning himself. Actually.
And in real time, he thought he got me, and that's you can see. I post on my Instagram story. I'm smiling as he's yelling at me. I'm smiling as he's yelling at me because I know he's clowning himself. He was screaming at me, and they're all celebrating it online, saying, "Oh, this man got owned. Who is this Ahmed guy? He should leave the country. Whatever." I didn't respond to any of it. Straight up, there was hundreds. Like I didn't respond.
You just that's what you say. Like, yeah, I did. I left and I had a great time and now I'm back.
Yeah. No, people were finding my wedding photos, commenting. Like everyone was commenting, being like, "Get out!" Like Kevin owned you. Straight up. So I was sitting there. I didn't respond to any of the hate, and I was like, "Okay, like I'm just gonna wait. I'm gonna wait till August 1st, when I told the man to wait till then." And it turns out you can, in that moment, you can choose to win the battle in the moment and yell back, or you can smile on the guy's face and wait till time tells the motherfucking truth. Excuse my language.
And win the war, baby.
And win the war. And the truth happens. I'm not happy the economy's not doing great because that sucks. Right. You know, so point is, like, Trump's economy, there's tariffs.
Happy that, well, let me just say, like, you're not happy about the economy, but people who lie to the public and mislead people, like Kevin, because he's become this political animal now. If he would have looked at the numbers honestly, as a business person, he would have been able to see what you clearly could see as somebody who's not an economist. And he's disingenuous. And he's leading people in the wrong direction. People lost money because of Kevin O'Leary.
Because he looked at the one data point.
Listen to Ahmed Baba, there'd be people with more cash in their accounts right now. And they didn't. And so people like Kevin need to get taken down. And people like you, truth tellers, about the economy, but about politics in the country writ large, need to be listened to more.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, it's just like, you know, the markets might rebound again, and if Trump pushes the deadline back or whatever. But the point is, this is not sustainable. You can't have an erratic mind of a president running the global economy with these sporadic tariffs, and that was my point. And he tried to contest that point with one data point, just because he personally was doing great, and his investments were at an all-time high that day. Not everyone's invested in the stock market. There's other measures of the economy, and they were all blinking red. And look at what happened. Like the 3 month, I've never seen anything like this. Like a 75% revision down on job numbers over
That's
2
crazy.
months.
That's crazy.
It's crazy, man.
So
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 yeah,
so wait, that leads me to my next thing, which is uh I feel like at some point, um, isn't the and I don't know enough about the. Let me just. I don't know enough about it. I got to look into it. But I want to say this because it feels like it's happening here with jobs and unemployment. It's happening with inflation measures, and it's happening all over the government. At some point, we can't trust. I mean, now we can't trust their data. If there's anything that comes from the federal government where they're saying this is the gold standard for measuring this macroeconomic thing, this national number, I don't. I need somebody else to look at the numbers. I need some
yeah.
other data set that shows me that this is true first, because I don't believe it anymore. I do not believe it. If you can get 1,000 people in the FBI to dig through something for your personal stuff, and you can get the EPA to do the crazy shit that they just did, and you can get like the FCC to do crazy things, and take do favors for your corporations, and the bribes and everything. Like, if you can get the government to do these things, why should I trust your job numbers? Why should I
It
trust your
shouldn't.
job numbers, your inflation numbers, your economic measures of anything? I don't. And so I I need one. This is going to continue to happen, where whatever number they put out on the day of is going to get revised down. And two, I think someone's going to look back actually on the past 6 months and like reanalyze things and start to come up with new independent numbers on the Trump economy.
Yes.
Once we learn how to do this, and we're going to see this like massive decline on regular people and their spending power and their living power, because the market is another thing people talk about. The market is diverged from the economy actually, and
Yeah.
the market is going to continue to kind of do what it does, based around tariffs and based around the wealth of the ultra rich and the performance of a small number of companies actually, right? And Nvidia is like carrying the market
Yeah.
on some days, right? And that's unreal. And real people's jobs, their spending power, their living power is just the indicator is going to exist somewhere else.
Yes, exactly. And on that note of indicators existing somewhere else, and it kind of being siloed, right? Like AI jobs are doing great. With NVIDIA is making these chips. That's indicative of the AI market doing great. But guess what's not doing great? The breakdown shows manufacturing jobs are down, and that was the whole point of the tariffs, right? Allegedly, all of these financial services, like there's professional business services, there's the economy is running into problems because of these dumb tariffs, and the public's being gaslit by this administration and his Republican surrogates that go out here and pretend that these tariffs have any first like 1 second. It's about manufacturing jobs. Well, you're losing manufacturing jobs, so that can't be why. It's about boxing in China, but okay, but you're also tariffing the entire planet, including Penguin Island, so it can't be about China. And then but also it's about rebalancing. But you're doing deals with imaginary money. The EU doesn't have the power to give you $750 billion to invest in energy. Where are they going to get that money? They can't compel anyone in any member state. They literally cannot compel any member state to provide that money. It doesn't exist. Japan is claiming that, we don't even actually know how we're going to provide their hundreds of billions that they've offered. It's all smoke and mirrors BS. And I think America, again, all of it's culminating here to just like Americans realizing the wizard behind the curtain is just a dude with a weird haircut that is like not trustworthy. He's been lying this whole time. Like that's the story.
That's it. Okay, so yeah, we'll keep an eye. Obviously, this Epstein thing's going to keep being a story because Trump's feeding it, and the government's actively working to cover it up. Don't get me into the video and the moving orange spots.
Oh yeah,
Don't get me into
I can't get into that. What's up with the orange spot,
that, man? I don't know. What's that being lifted into the air? We don't.
Is Trump a shapeshifter? Did he go in there and go to the vent? Like I don't know.
We don't know, man. It's all.
I'm just asking questions. I'm just
Yeah.
asking questions.
People are saying.
Many people are saying Trump's a shapeshifter, and that he went into the Epstein vent. Many people are saying, I don't know.
Too
That's
many
I'm just
people are
asking
talking about
questions.
it. They are, and they are actually a lot of people are talking about it.
People are talking
Um,
about it because
but we're
it's
gonna keep talking. We'll keep talking
the
about
fact
this.
that it's an orange blob is just so funny to
I
me. Like it could have
know
been any other color.
it's the wrong shade. Trump is like, it's the wrong shade of orange.
Yeah,
My
exactly.
orange is more golden than that orange.
My orange is
That's
hex code.
clearly his jumpsuit that he was wearing when he was lifted into the. Oh, I've said too much. Oh wait, I said.
Oh my god.
Uh, yeah. Hey, no shortage of news, man. No shortage of news. Next week I will be able to. What's today's? Yeah, I'll be able to tell you how the election in Seattle went. That'll be a big deal for us. It'll be a big deal for the future of the Democratic Party. It'll be a future for a big indicator on the future of young voters in America. So more on that, more on all of this stuff.
Yep. Good talk, man.
Talk soon.